And we are coming up. And there we are. Okay, I'm going to start the music and let me know if you can hear it. Here we go. Can you hear
Yep,
it, Bill? Okay, let's
got it.
dance.
So you wanna be
Dance with me. Be cool.
a cool kid, hanging with the infant
I have a new cool dude today. Where'd you meet this one?
you and fine.
Here we go. Ready for the drum roll. It's at the bridge. Cross that bridge. My drumsticks are in the other room, but we'll take it. Here we go. Bop, 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 bop. Thank you very much to Serge Hoffman, who composed the music and sings my lyrics to So You Want to Be. I'm Bonnie D. Happy to be here. And Bill, I have to change your name because we only use last initials. So I'm just going to do that for you in just a second here. I have a special guest today. He's my newest cool dude. Where do I go to rename? There we go. My newest cool dude. And I'm always amazed that people I meet, like Bill, and Eric and Jason and other cool dudes let me call them a cool dude. Bill, how are you?
I am wonderful, Bonnie. Thanks for having me.
I'm delighted to have you. And as I say, I've extended the invitation, and I know you through my Technology Revolution show. You're a very, very cool techie guy, very accomplished, very great personality. And I didn't know how you would take it. You want to come and be a cool dude? And you said yes. And you sent me,
Absolutely.
at my request, an incredible origin story bio. And people have to get used to not doing a CV bio, right, Bill, with the last 5 jobs? Yes, I know. So it's a little bit of stretch. So I make it easy. Just send me the bullets, and 5,000 bullets later, I have yours. So I'm Bonnie D, and I love talking to interesting, smart people. And Bill P is my newest interesting, smart person. And let me just read the opening here so you all know who I'm talking to. And Bill, I hope this makes you happy. You know us well, Bonnie D and Bill P too, seasoned in life, and we love what we do. From LinkedIn's halls to social's embrace, let's have a hug. We share insights in our savvy people space. Now on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Bill P, a cool dude on a lifelong quest. Here's my poetic intro, then he will tell us the rest. Here we go. From the heart of LA, where the streets set the tone, a 70s baby grew up in a village well known. Not underserved then, just life in the hood, where neighbors were family as strong as they could. By third grade, young Bill faced his fears on the stage, reciting the Gettysburg Address, wisdom beyond his age. In fourth grade, If by Kipling, his compass and guide, words that still shape him, a beacon of pride. School felt like a grind, a dull, rigid chain, with no useful lessons to feed his bright brain. Basketball brought escape by ninth grade, 6 feet tall, but dreams of the big leagues hit a growth-stopped wall. So Bill turned to hustle, house parties in style, learning business's ropes, marketing with guile. Demographics competition, his game was astute. Teenage escapades, his first business pursuit. High school done, no recruiters at his door, no degree for his skills, no bright college in store. To escape mom's plans, he chose Navy, life's grind, where discipline forged him and sharpened his mind. 6 years. How am I doing so far? We doing good?
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. 6 years in the service. This is your life. I have to rename the show. 6 years in the service with structure in hand. He earned an EE degree ready to command, building electron guns, chasing patents and dreams, startups and coding. Bill's innovation was supreme. But the system wore thin, his fire burned dim, until his wife's words lit a spark deep within. I'm all choked up here. Don't work for the world. Go out and carve your own. And Smart Connections Consulting became Bill's new zone. 12 years, 40 cities, success in their stride. Bill and his PICs took the leap far and wide. True North Software Solutions, a venture so bright. Employee-owned canvas where digital twins take flight. No titles, no boxes, just innovation unchained, where skill eclipses degrees and rules are reframed. Bill P. blazes paths where new visions are spun, a cool dude for the ages, and his journey is not yet done. How'd we do?
That was wonderful. A perfect encapsulation of what I've been, who I am. Yes. I love it.
I'm glad. I'm going to finish the poem here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh, so much more. Join us live or on demand day or night. We won't be here at night, but you can find us and share our delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Comments are welcome. Just play nice. You know who you are, you know. We Dish, too saucy dame and cool dude too. Bonnie D and Bill P. Dishing on life's fun. A little French here. Pour vous. Thank you, Bill. I'm glad you like it. I have to give props to Sylvia, my virtual assistant that some of you know as ChatGPT, and she and I work very well together. So, yeah, she whipped this one up in about, it was a little longer than most. It took her about 2.5 minutes. I'm sorry, about 5 seconds, not 2.5, 5 seconds. She
Oh,
usually does
wow.
it in two. Yeah, yeah. So she was pretty good. And I told her it was merveilleux, and she thanked me very much. So, Bill, what we like to do here, first of all, did we miss anything in your bio? Anything important you'd like to share with us?
No, no. I mean, I think it was all there. I mean, the one thing that I've always said after I discovered, what my issues were is I'm a rebel without a pause.
Ooh, and we're not talking puppies, are we? Or kittens, are we? We're
No.
talking rebel without a pause. Very interesting. Explain. Give me a little more on that. I like it.
It didn't matter where I was at or what I was doing. When someone puts something in front of me and says, "This is what you do and this is how you do it," I'm like, "Man, you got to be kidding me. There's another way to do this." And so I'm going to go off and do it, my way. And in a number of instances, it got me in trouble. But I have to be my authentic self, and that's the biggest deal. Up until this day, I'm still that way. Someone will say, "Well, this is how it works," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it doesn't have to be that way."
You're looking at somebody who understands and appreciates that. And do you think I have a degree in journalism? No. Do you think I have training in broadcasting? Are you kidding me? I'm an early woman in tech. Do you know that? Do you remember me saying that on some of the
Yes.
shows? Yeah, I was coding. Well, I'm not a girl of the 70s, a little bit earlier than you, but I was coding in COBOL on a Xerox Sigma 6 CP5 mainframe, and I was key punching my codes. And I was handwriting 2,000 lines of COBOL on paper over the weekend and coming in and key punching it sometimes on a Monday and having it up and running with maybe one small syntax error by noon on Monday in production. What do you think of that, Bill?
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
loved I loved it. And people say, "Oh, you need math to be a programmer." Hell no. You need to have a logical mind and you need to know how things work. That's it. It's not mathematics at all. And funny story, I was in Eugene, Oregon, and I was divorcing my husband. I had two young children. I was 3,000 miles from home. And my parents said, "Well, what are you going to do? You got to support yourself." And I said, "Oh, gee, I'd never had a job. I was in my late 20s." And they sent me, Bill, before cell phones, before email, before internet, they sent me a stack of brochures on careers. Things like X-ray technician. My dad had been a radiologist and MD. I didn't want to do that. Lab tech, all kinds of interesting things. And one brochure was computer programmer. I said, "What's that?" I asked around and somebody said, "There's a community college." I didn't have a car. They said, "It's 2 bus rides away. Why don't you go talk to them?" So I took the bus. One of my children was in first grade. The other one was at a babysitter 2 blocks away. I took the bus, 2 buses, and I went to Lane Community College. And I said, "What is this thing called computers?" And they said, "Oh, we're sorry. The class is already full." But, and they whispered me over to the side of the registration desk, "Sit in for the next 2 weeks, and we promise there will be empty chairs because people don't know what they're getting into and they will drop the class." And I did. And they did. And I took 2 years, aced everything 4.0, and they hired me to run a statewide enrollment system for the whole college for the whole state of Oregon after I
Oh,
finished
wow.
my degree. So anyway, do you think I was doing things the way they were supposed to? I don't think so.
No.
I re
I mean, I applaud those that do that. And I mean, what's interesting is during all of these times, and truly it was being young. I mean, growing up if you contrast the way that I grew up to the way this generation is today,
hmm
I mean, night and day doesn't do it justice.
No.
The community was literally that. I mean, you knew your neighbors knew your kids, you knew their kids. And if you saw any one of them doing something out of line, you would correct them. You try doing that today.
World of trouble.
That's
World,
not happening, you
world
know.
of trouble. No.
So I mean, so I was very appreciative of those things, all the while going to school and the structure of this. We're going to teach you this, and we're going to teach you that. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, really? I know all of this stuff already. And they're like, no, you don't. And I'm like, yeah, I do. And I can remember solving math equations, totally no way that I land on the right answer because I'm just not the functions. I'm not following the functions, but I'm landing on the right answers. And they're like, how'd you get that? And I explained it to them, and they're like, that makes no sense. I'm like, it
I
makes sense to me.
love it. Were you the model for Goodwill Hunting? Who would come in and he'd solve the problem on the board, remember in the movie?
Yes, yes. I mean, things like that. It's. I found that I don't think in words. I think in pictures.
Interesting. When did
And
what point in your growing up did that image dawn on you? When did you realize that? Early?
early on, I mean, the way that the Gettysburg Address and for me to be, in third grade and reciting it, it was because I had read the book. I had read about Abraham Lincoln. And pictures were in my head.
Hmm.
So for me, it was literally the way I memorized that was by association with pictures.
Interesting.
And if
Yeah,
which was like, I mean, it was profound to me at that time. Still is,
it still
because
is
I,
to a
I
lot of
really think
people.
it distills exactly what I think a man does.
Do you remember a couple of lines for us? I don't have the poem here offhand. No pressure. No pressure.
If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can keep your mind when all men doubt you, but keep the doubting, I can't remember the whole thing yet. But it was that intro, if you can keep your head when all about you.
Yep.
And it was like those were the things because I was constantly angry. I mean,
Mm.
all the time. I was an angry child. I was an angry person. Uh, because I kept saying, I'm like, why do we live like this?
Yeah.
And my parents were like, we're doing the absolute best that we can. I'm like, I get it, but how come we don't have homes like these other kids?
Mm.
And I wanted to understand that. And that's where I stood to understand truly there's the haves and the have-nots. I wanted to be in the haves.
Mm-hmm.
So once I realized that these were the things, I had trouble corralling my own stuff. And I mean, I was obstinate. Teachers would tell me to do something, I'd do something completely opposite. Uh, it was cold in the classroom. I went and sat on they had these radiators. They looked like
Uh-huh.
little radiators. They
Uh-huh.
had those in the classroom, and I went and sat on it. And I
Bill,
remember,
get off the radio.
I remember the teacher, Miss Penoyer,
Oh
told me,
dear.
she said, get off of that. And I was like, make me.
Oh my God, you were one of those kids.
Yes.
Oh dear me.
And of course, call to the parents. And I'm like, look, she's not teaching me anything. It's boring.
Wow.
I don't like it. So there's an understanding of kids that are not, you can't, not everyone learns the same, yet we put them in these processes
That's
and
right.
we tell them that. And I kind of feel like society has done that across the board, right? I mean, you're told
Hmm.
go to school, graduate, go to college, graduate, get a job, start from the bottom, work your way up. If
Yep.
you graduate high enough, you can start a little bit higher and you
Yep.
work your way up the ladder. But no one tells you about the people that are going to step on you on their
Nope.
way up the ladder.
Nope. Or from their perch way above you where they are not going to ever give that up. I've run into those. And in
Yes.
in my experience, it may sound interesting or odd. It's been females who are bosses or managers who have stepped on my toes, my hands, my fingers, and my head and said, nope, you can't do that. We won't give you a raise. We won't let you do this. I'm going to take a sip here. Anyway, I want to move on because we're going to get to the parties. I want to hear about that, but tell me about your cool dude songs.
Ah, so the the ones, I mean, they're really a reflection, I think, a reflection of me and the time that I grew up and what I was listening to at that time. And I think one of the first one is "It's a Man's World" by James Brown.
It's a man's world. Da, da, da.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, tell me why.
And
Why?
so because my mom was a single mom, she raised all of us on her own.
How many is all of us?
There were three of us in the house at that time, and there were three others that were external, but they would come by and everything like that. So it was like, somewhat of a broken home, but
Yeah. But a big home, a lot of people.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Go ahead.
And I mean, it was just those lines. This is a man's world, but it wouldn't mean nothing without a woman or a girl.
Hmm.
And I don't know if people can truly appreciate what that is. It may sound a bit chauvinistic in some instances, but it's very true that, as a man, I'm a firm believer that you won't be complete without having that woman, that partner, those things complete you. And they give you inspiration and so many other things that it's that combination. It's your partner in life. Uh,
Hmm.
and so it's a man's world has always meant a lot to me, predominantly also because I have three girls. So I have no
Oh
boy.
my goodness
I have
gracious.
I have three girls.
Very interesting.
And
Give me another cool dude song.
the other one is "These Three Words" by Stevie Wonder. And
I
uh,
don't know
and it,
that
it
one.
it kind of starts off by, with the statement of, when was the last time that they heard you say, "Mother" or "Father, I love you"? And when
Mm.
was the last time that they heard you say, "Daughter" or "Son, I love you"? Ones you say you cherish every day can instantly be taken away. Then you'd say, "I know this can't be true," when you never took the time to simply tell them, "I love you."
Mm.
And that kind of struck a chord with me because I lost family members, that were very close to my age early on, and I couldn't understand it. And
Hmm.
and I was, like I said, I was an angry child. So, "I love you" was not something that was thrown around, and
Yeah.
and men telling other men "I love you," that was not the thing. But I thought it was right.
Mm.
And so I make sure to tell my girls, my wife, that I love them every single day, because you're not promised tomorrow. So that one meant a lot to me. And then there's, are we still live?
You froze right there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Um,
Any rock and roll cool dude? Any cool dude about dancing or yeah?
well, so the last one was "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy.
Ooh, that sounds serious. What's that?
Yeah. So it's basically, I mean, it's got a lot of raw emotion in it about equality,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and equity, and the fact that those that, now, this is not just, the underserved community, because in the underserved communities in the hood, we had people of all ethnicities. So it's not just a black thing or a brown thing or anything like that. It is literally the system that has allowed others, the one percenters, to prosper and everyone else to suffer.
Mm.
And so it's literally about equities and fight the powers that be. Um, and then lastly, I would say there's What's Going On by Marvin Gaye.
Of course.
That really.
I think we're having streaming problems here, Bill. Can you still hear me? You have disappeared on me. Bill? Bill, are you still there? I think we're going to have to stop this and start it again. Bill, I'm going to count to three. Sorry, we must be having a weather condition here. We're still stream. Yeah, Bill dropped. Bill will join back again. Okay. I'm Bonnie D having streaming issues. Yeah, Spectrum has been a little spotty recently with all kinds of streaming opportunities here. Let's wait for Bill to come back. Let's give him a minute. And I'm going to stop and start this if he doesn't come back in 1 minute. Hello, everybody. I'm Bonnie D all alone without my cool dude. And we're going to get back in just a second. So let's see. Okay. Nope, he's not joining back. Okay. We will continue this another time. Thank you. Bye bye.